I'm going to get us out of the ground, and I kind of want to reboot just a little bit since we are starting a little bit early, okay? And Marla, let's close one door, and then you just kind of work door. All right, so yesterday, first off, how did everybody feel about yesterday?
Very good.
Okay. All right, I want us to kind of have a little bit of an interactive morning, and what I'm thinking is this, is that I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to give us feedback so we go in the right direction this morning. But number one, when we're gone, you're going to go back to your world, we're going to go back to our world. What do you feel like right now you're missing or you want before you leave? And if you got it, I want you to raise your hand so I can hear you. Go ahead, Bobby.
We spoke a little about it last night, just a little bit. I might have missed it.
Just hit it. What do you want?
Just a little bit more on the builder and how you present it.
Okay. Who else would like to hear builder? Okay, good. That's a good subject. Okay. Another one that you feel like you're missing right now, that if we could spend some valuable time this morning, you would feel a little bit more empowered when you walk out of here. What is it? Yes, PowerPoint. For sure, you're going to get them. I'm going to talk about PowerPoint. I'm glad you brought that up, and I'll come back to that. Keep going. What's something else that somebody wants or we hadn't talked about, and we need to unpack it a little bit more, spend some time on it this morning. You feel like you'll be ready to rock and roll when you walk out of here. So,
math calculations for entitlement. And is there any way we can pull web CLI and show how easy it is to pull
LGY.
LGY.
Math calculations, I'm sorry, for
entitlement.
Yeah.
It's on the.
Okay, let's keep going.
I got some feedback last night, Stewart, that they would like to hear how.
Aren't they sitting in here, Dave?
Yeah.
They need to speak for themselves.
Yes, sir.
All right, come on. Be bold and brave. All right, David, speak for them.
No idea. They wanted to hear how to get the seller to accept the VA contract.
Seller to
Accept the offer.
accept
Yeah, in the market.
offer. I love you.
Got it. That's what we're covering after this problem.
All right, what else?
Chris.
About a good approach of how to direct veterans directly.
Say it better.
How to go after veterans directly.
Veterans directly. Okay.
Versus realtors, builders.
Got it. Okay. I'm going to call that our hill. Okay. So for this morning, we're going to kind of go in more of a tactical mode and strategy. And so
Well,
I'm
going to answer a good portion of that when I answer how to present the realtor offer. Because it's part of the same presentation you get to the real estate agent. I killed two birds with one stone.
Got it. Veteran directly, but there's strategy behind veteran directly, and it's how to get to them. That's what I'm hearing you say, right? Versus how to present, it's how to get their attention. Okay?
Well, that's part. I got it. That's part of it.
So I wasn't in the military. To expand on is there a department to contact on the basis trying to get access on this?
Is there a okay, we're not answering any question, I'm just writing down the question. Is there a point of contact at base? All right, I got it on my deal.
Yeah, there is.
Anybody else got anything that we're rolling with? Because I'm going to quickly build an agenda.
Something that touches with that is I guess there's a contact person at the base that they have welcome packet or something and that kind of stuff.
Okay,
It's
so
family morale and welfare. FMW.
okay, so I'm just going to put base. How about that? Okay. If you get another one when we're rolling, I want you to write it down so that we don't forget it. Now, let me tell you what I've got on my agenda right now, and we're going to weave this in. Number one, I'm going to start with a builder. With a builder, we're going to ID, how to ID a builder, how to present to the builder, and how to execute on the builder. That's number one. Number two is that I want to talk about, I'm just going to bring the subject up, and I just want you to kind of build your agenda with me so you know where you're going. Who is your Chad? Okay, who is your Chad? Just write that down. Number three is that we're going to hit Patriot Tour. What I want to do on Patriot Tour is I want to talk about strategy around Patriot Tour for you. We're going to get tickets if you want to go, and then more importantly, with Garrett, is Lauren here? Huh. And Lauren, I want to build the marketing drumbeat, okay, around that. And I don't want to repeat it. I want to hit it right here in this room. I want to get involved. I want you to write that down. Get involved. We're going to come back to it. We're going to touch one more time on ads, marketing, and social media. On presenting to a veteran, to a realtor, to what have you, I want to talk about what a kit could be that you could have, that you could basically set the stage or set the venue. And the last thing that I've got on it is that just how to make that event better, okay? And that would be all the little extras that go in that. And the last thing is going to be just straight onto the presentation, okay, which would be the PowerPoint. Okay, so here we go. Let me make sure that, okay, so builder, yes, definitely going to talk about that PowerPoint. You got it down there. Math calculations, you're going to do that after we get done. Seller to accept an offer. Jay said he's going to hit that, so we'll hit that probably. Jay, I want you to hold seller to accept offer till when we let me get all the way through.
It's at the end.
And then veteran directly, I am going to go ahead and hit that. I'm going to go and put that right here, vet direct. Okay. Is there a point of contact on the base? Okay, we're going to talk about that when we talk about the hill. Okay, all right, we're good. All right, here we go. Are you standing out with me? You make me nervous.
Awesome.
You're so big. Okay. All right, everybody ready? Okay. All right, so biggest thought that I've got this morning is that I want you so equipped when we get done that you can walk out of here and take action. That is the whole goal of being here, or this is all for nothing. Everybody agree? So, with the whole thing that you got yesterday, yes, it's good, but if you do not go take action to go teach that, it means nothing. So let's start with the 4 heels that we kind of found. Actually, we're going to go with the 3, okay? So number 1 heel was the realtor. And when we think heel, I want you to think, how do you? So what we're doing there is that we're really developing an opportunity. I'm calling it a heel, and I want you to be thinking about this all strategically today. So I don't want you to get wrapped up into percentages. I don't want you to get wrapped up into, did you need a DD-214? We are not talking about any of that. We're just talking about how to be strategic and how to execute. That's what we're talking about right now. So I want you to think about a heel, and I want you to think that heel is the realtor heel. And I want you to think about how are we going to go. Are we going to take the heel? How are we going to keep it? Okay? How are we going to take it? How are we going to keep it? So, take the heel. My coach would be is that I would leave this super simple. I would not overcomplicate this message at all. The PowerPoint and the message, I want you to kind of sidebar, and I want you to think about, and I want you to put your marketing hat on, okay? You have a wonderful opportunity to take a message that basically accomplishes a couple things. One is that you are waking up your realtor community to the power of VA. You're waking up your realtor community to the power of VA. Number 2 is it's a high probability that they will grow their business because of what they heard. So number 2 is they can grow their business. Everybody agree with that? Okay. So if I'm going to market this, one of the things is that what we're thinking about is that we want you, and again, this has been like a work in process. I wish I just could go, hey, this is it right here. We got to build this kit, Eric, right? And so this kit has got to consist of, number 1, like a checklist. So I want us, here, tell me when you're going to sit down and start writing. I want us to have a checklist to start from, and that checklist is basically number 1, all right, when am I doing it? Number 2, the venue that I'm going to have it at. Number 3, how am I going to market it, okay? Because I think you've got to give yourself some lead time here. And when you think about venue and you think about what your look is, I'm telling you, those things are important. Like when we're thinking about doing everything, and I'm going to give you a couple of parallels, think about about the presentation of everything. To me, the look and the feel is as important as the content. So if you miss that part, I think you come off. Let me use what Stenson said to me the other day. I think you come off cheesy and sleazy. I about fell out when I heard that. I thought it was awesome. No, we do not want to be cheesy and sleazy, right? We want to be professional, and more importantly, we want to be, in my opinion, we want to own the space. If we want to own the space, then we want to be the best that there is, and that means we got to look the best. Okay. All right. So, pre-event marketing checklist exists, but here's what we're asking for on this. Okay, this is a first run template. As you start to do this, we want feedback. If you start to say, hey, we should have this in here, I want to get it, we're going to start going to 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, as we improve these documents, this gets us out of the ground, okay? So, you know, the part on the builder, part on the realtor on the appeal, when I'm thinking about marketing that, I'm thinking about that I want to have a concise message that is not confusing, okay? A concise message is not confusing. It needs to get to the point. Everybody, like if you're going to go present to me and you want me to come to something, I'm telling you, you better have on there what I'm going to accomplish. Because if you don't have on there what I'm going to accomplish, and it looks like this whole, it's going to be fun, and that is not going to get me. Okay? But if you can flat out go, 100%, this will, and so here's what I like about that, and I'm going to kind of skip around a little bit. We have some real known things and versus theory things right now. We for sure, as a company, have moved the needle 46% in 8 months. Think about how powerful that number is. 46% in 8 months. And by the way, that number will keep doing something. It hopefully will get better. But wouldn't it be great if I were looking at a realtor in the eye and I go, okay, hey, on our VA segment, let me just make sure you understand how powerful this message is. We've moved the needle at our company 46% in 8 months. What if you could do that for your business? Shut up. Let them think about that for a second. I mean, to me, you want to get my attention, you walk in with that statement. All right, you got my ears. I'm totally locked in on you now. First, I need to make sure that you get the message. I'm hosting a realtor event on I'm going to unpack it there. And then if first off, I think it'll just help you in your overall just what you do. I really do. I think you will improve that day. Everybody else says that they do. We have had super success with this. But I would set the stage that if you get convicted while you're at my event, if you hear the message and you want to go and go take it to another level, I want you to know that I will partner with you on that. That's how I would handle the realtor here. Because really, 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 what you really want to do is you want to take a room like this and you want to cut the herd. So if I'm thinking strategy, and I'm telling you this is how I think, if I'm going in somewhere, I'm not looking for masses, I'm looking for the few. Once you start thinking elite special operations teams that do not have 1,000 people on their team. How many they got? 6, 8, that's it. And they can go do some damage.
Just to put it in perspective, literally right now, there are 2,500 AECs in the United States. 2,500.
So you're thinking cut the herd, cut the herd, cut the herd, cut the herd. How are we going to cut the herd? I need them. You're looking for conviction, conviction, conviction. What does conviction look like? Conviction looks like, dang, I'm not doing my part. I want to get after it on this right here. With that, I mean, you're looking for something that's like their why. You're looking for something that fuels them up, gives them a little bit of fire. It's not like they're just going to go sell another house. Okay, that's what conviction looks like. You will know it when it shows up. But you've got to get the message to them, or they're not going to get convicted. Does everybody agree with that? Okay, how can I get somebody convicted if I can't get them to hear the message? Okay, so your biggest job, number one, is to fill that room. But your next biggest job is to figure out how to cut the herd. Okay. To me, marketing that event is not a shotgun approach that I think that some people would just be like, boom, 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 boom. It's a concise message that I want to do face-to-face. It will give you an opportunity to get out of your office and go take something that you did not have, which is a message, before you went, and have a one-on-one. I will be hunting people down. You will get business from that right there. You now have a reason. So let's just go like this. Is my message going to be more powerful if I'm in person or if I give you that? Or hey, Wendell, come here. I need 5 minutes. Let me tell you what I'm doing right now. I'm super passionate about this message. I think this will help grow your business. Let me just give you a number. Our company right now has moved the needle 46% in 8 months with the strategy that I'm talking about right now. Do you have a few minutes to talk? Okay, we're about to get after it. You agree? I don't care what's on that piece of paper, man. I mean, engagement, man. I mean, like, let's use this as a way to get out of our offices and sit down with people and let's talk about real subjects that really matter. You agree? Okay. So I just don't want you to get lost in what's a piece of paper say. Stop. Start getting lost in what your heart says and sit down with that person and let's start filling up a room based on that. And if you had 50 people sitting there and you had to have 50 conversations, I mean, think about what you just accomplished with these things. I don't care if you get to 50. I don't care if you just get to 10. But I think that's the march. Does everybody like that march? Okay. All right. Then, yeah, I would have probably a piece of paper. You know, I'd probably have something that I'm going to leave there that's more like an invitation. You know, like I remember when we used to do the tickets, Garrett, and it was kind of like, look, you know, and I like this strategy. If I only have a couple of, I mean, you know, look, the room's not 2,000, the room's 50. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to have it filled up. I need to know, are you committed? Because that seat costs money, right? I mean, have some type of commitment before you leave. Can I count on you? Okay, cool. Wendell, I'm going to put you down right now. You're in seat number 1, okay? I mean, but I think if you go with this strategy, with just this hope strategy that 30 people show up, it's a bad play. I think if you go one-on-one and you just talk about, look, I've got limited capacity. And it ain't like I'm just going to do another one and do another one and do another one. I mean, like, I need your attention that day. I promise you it will help you. I'm not going to waste your time. Can I count on you to be here? Yes, no. And then, so that would be how I would do that. Number 2 on that thing is that I would not take for granted that they're going to show up. I would have scheduled before I get there, like a phone day or 2 days of phone day, and I'd be calling back. Hey, Wendell, you know our day is in 2 days, right? Yes. Okay. Well,
Can I weigh in on this a little bit here?
Come on.
Okay. So two of the most successful events we have. First one was David McMillan right out the gate in San Antonio. And first and foremost, what he did was form a committee. Like, he took 5 or 6 people in his branch, from admin to LO or whoever, and that was their job, you know, for the next 30 days, was to get on top of this. And you got Garrett and Lauren, you guys did a great job, and they created the event page for it, and they did marketing. And not only that, did they sit there they didn't just rely on the Facebook. They did what Stewart said. They picked up the phone. I mean, they made hundreds and hundreds of phone calls and said, hey, you guys coming, you guys coming, you guys coming. And then, you know, a week before, you know, we dropped a little video reminder. I popped in, I did like a 2-minute video, like, hey, this is James Macon with Benchmark Mortgage. I look forward to seeing you guys in San Antonio. It's going to be awesome. We're going to learn how to present a VA offer that sellers will actually accept in a multi-offer situation. And we are going to myth bust all the myths that surround the VA home loan, so you'll be empowered to help more veterans buy homes in 2018. Look forward to seeing you.
Does that video exist?
Well, it was live.
Okay, yeah. But hold on. But does that script exist?
Yeah. Right.
Okay, just write it down. I want a script, and I like that would be the thing that I would do. I would have the one-on-one, and then at some point I'm dropping my video. Okay, and so if we have it scripted, in other words, I think it's the teacher. Like, if you have Jay coming in, you want Jay to go do that. If you don't have Jay coming in, it's you. I want you to go do that, because I mean you are the platform, right? right? So it's Wendell saying that message, and I think you got to be convicted when you say it, right? And then you're dropping it again. Write this
Well,
down.
and then you drop it one more, you drop it not just a week out, right? So then like we just did in Omaha, okay? I'm on my way to the airport. I'm Facebook Live and me at the airport leaving Detroit, coming into your town, okay? You guys saw that. That increased people coming to your class.
Okay, we'll keep rolling.
And then the day up,
Video.
walk-ins, day up, before you get there. Hey, you still got time to walk in. I know it's a little bit of standing room only, but you got time to walk in.
Okay, so how you market that didn't matter. When I'm thinking about production trip, when I'm thinking about this, when I'm thinking about anything, here's how I think. I always think, what is it that I can do in 24 hours the last 365 days? What do you think about what I just said? What can I do in 24 hours the last 365 days? Why do I think like that? Because we have a big company, and I do not have the opportunity to go reboot production trip or redo this or redo. We have got to get it. It's got to be locked down. We've got to have it right. Boot sheet, we think the same thing. I mean, so when the team starts to go around that, you start to think, okay, well, hold on. What if we did this? What if we did that? And we roll everything in before we roll anything out. We roll everything in before we roll anything out. So if I'm thinking event again, and you want to be the biggest and baddest in town, and you've got a great message now, what I'm saying is that, okay, if you'll leverage that, your imprint on them, if you do this correct, it could last 365 days. That's huge. That means you don't have to go out and go re-engage at the level that you did before because you just got the imprint you need, okay? Doesn't mean you don't go do after action strategy work to go there, but it does mean that they will remember you. That is your goal. Everybody like that?
Yeah.
Why would we do anything and go heavy lift if somebody can forget who we are? Oh, stay home. Okay. Let's go to the day of the presentation. Okay. I think that we create a kit. Love for y'all to get feedback on this, but I think we have something to get out of the gate. Okay, so those pull-up deals, how much do those cost normally? Okay, so I would invest money in this strategy. I would invest money in this strategy. I would have my stuff tight. I would have those pull-up deals. I would probably get one or two of these printed, and I would have, for sure, an American flag in my room. We tried to get one in ours, but we couldn't with the screen.
Well, we have 2 sets of those pull-up hitters. We'll ship them to your office. Just ship them back. That's the.
Here's what I'm thinking though. I mean, you know, there's some people in here that what my hope is that they go into a full mode, okay? And then there's some that, okay, they may do it one. If you're gonna go into full mode, I want you to be self-contained, right, okay? I think being self-contained and self-contained unit is a much better policy for you. You can go, I mean, like you can walk into a real estate office and they go, hey, could you present next week? Yes, right? Boom, I'm pulling, I mean, I want you to think that if you had that and you're doing that, shoot, what are you pulling up? So VA, I'd have VA specific, but I'd also probably have something that's more of our company specific, which is probably our core values, okay? We have one. So again, let's think about what that kit would look like. It doesn't have to be 100% VA. And by the way, Garrett, on our VA stuff, I want to make sure it's VA first responders. Okay, so the one thing that I think that I kind of fall into a trap of, and I know Jay does too, is when we're talking about this, we're really talking about 2 subjects, not one. 2 subjects, not one. We're talking about VA and we are talking about first responders. Do not leave that out of the equation, okay? Okay, so the day of, my look, my feel, what's going on. I can tell you one thing. I mean, you know, Marla softens me. Y'all probably know that. I have a Marla. I would ask you, on a day like that, you want a Marla, okay? Why? Because you're thinking what you're going to be talking about. You're not thinking about loving on people. And it would be really good if your office knew how to rally around your message. What could their part be that day that all of a sudden takes that, what can I do in 24 hours the last 365 days? Well, you can have a greeter, you know? A greeter is a powerful, powerful person to have at any event, in my opinion, you do. If y'all notice, I want you to think, who's been a production trip here? Raise your hand. Okay? When you got there, did you walk in and the hotel was like, hey, welcome to Omni? Or did you walk in and somebody was like, hey man, you're at the Benchmark deal. And then somebody was like, can I get your bag? Here, watch out, you know? See what I'm saying? So we think greedy, like we're taking over. I'm not worrying about the Omni, it's us, okay? So if we're doing a production trip, I'm thinking, okay, who can kind of have and own that space? So for you, it could be just one teammate, but I just think that, you know, you've got to, I mean, in other words, have that person own that, right? And make that person feel like $1 million when they show up to one of those things. I call that romancing. Have that part of your day. Do you romance? Yes, no. If you say no, figure it out. But I'm telling you, it's as easy as greeting. Right, agree with that? Okay. Swag. I would, for sure, if I'm going to have that much red carpet rolled out, have something cool for everybody. What did we have for y'all yesterday? Everybody like that?
Yeah.
Okay. What can you have?
And for big events too, we have titles, you know, different companies kind of donate items to.
But you got to put effort into it. You agree? You got to think it out. It can't be one of those things that, dang it, man, if I would have just had, I mean, no, man, get that up here somewhere, you know?
Our title company is sponsoring ours, buying Army looking Yeti cooler, and then a bunch of DVDs, Lone Survivor, American Sniper, books, right there.
Good. Think patriotic. Think what can go around that. This is where I would probably involve the challenge coin. Some people have asked about that. I think you can use the challenge coin in 1,000 different ways, and for sure I would use it in my realtor event as a thank you. I might even go around to each person and hand that out, you know, like in that way, so that it's personal and it's engagement from me to them before we're over with. Okay.
Make sure you know the story of it. I will do it right now.
Please don't.
You know, if you need it. We'll talk about that.
Got to keep rolling. So challenge coin, why is a challenge coin important? Because a challenge coin in this example right now is a physical, throw me a coin. So the coin, or just hold it up. So if I give you that versus I give you a business card, okay? I mean, it's just when you, here, grab that. Okay, all right. So, I mean, you're probably not going to throw that away, right?
You know where veterans keep this? On their person. It's in their pocket, because that's when another veteran challenges. I go, hey man, you got your coin? If he doesn't have his coin, he owes me a drink. I mean, that's legit. That's a challenge coin game between veterans. And they collect them, whatever. So wherever, like, you know, whatever one you're wearing that day goes with your wallet, your watch, and your ring on your nightstand every night, or it goes into a jewelry box or right on your desk. This doesn't end up like a business card or a magnet. This stays close. So if they ever need to know your number or know your logo or whatever, it's right there.
Okay, so Stinson uses the dog tags, which I like too. He puts his info on the back. That's cool too. Do we do that right now, Garrett? Garrett,
Yes,
you do dog tags.
We do personalized for the agents.
All right. So just think swag, okay? I don't want you to get locked into it. I don't want to spend any more time on it, but I think that's where, you know what, we're going to design a challenge coin right now. It'll probably have the Benchmark Never Quits on one side. It'll have the branches of the government on the other. And so it'll be something cool that I feel like they will keep, they will take. Veterans will really appreciate it. The other people, they probably won't know necessarily do it, but they will not get rid of it, okay? All right. After action strategy. I'm through the event, right? Okay, I'm looking for who's the conviction, who's convicted, and then I'm looking for who do I go cut the herd with, and then all of a sudden focus on them and figure out how to help them grow their business. Okay, this is a game changer, in my opinion, right now. Game changer. Game changer is this. If I get a message out, I promise you, you're going to get a lift on the message that you get out, because now they just know that all those unicorns they bring to you. Okay. Number one. Number two is that they're definitely going to connect you, is that you are patriotic and you care. And so therefore, to me, I call that the Trojan horse. It gets you into maybe other places that you wouldn't have gotten into before, just because you're able to share your heart. Okay? Number three is that when the conviction happens and somebody says, okay, hey, I want to do more, I want to know more, I mean, usually that's when people kind of show up afterwards and they go, hey, do you have a few minutes? If somebody says, do you have a few minutes? That absolutely means they're convicted. Do you have a few minutes? Yes. But don't get locked in when you're doing an event of having to feel like you got to be, you know, all the way hammered down engagement. Here's what I would do if I were you. Yes. Hey, you know, I really want to learn more about blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay, good. Here's what I want to do. I'm going to be partnered with a few people on this, and I'm like, what you heard today is just basically like more the education piece, but I'm talking about like taking our business to another level. So if that interests you, I want to meet with you one-on-one. And that's how I would not go far in a setting like this, because you could go so much further outside of a place like this in a sit-down engagement, okay? And I don't know that I necessarily have the blueprint for you, but I know that I would start asking questions, okay? And here's what I would ask, and this is something that we should write down right now, Gary, is that, like, okay, laugh your ass off all you want to. Lauren, here's something I want you to write down, okay? All right, I want you to write down the questions that I want on an engagement from a real estate agent, okay? So when we're sitting down, the very first thing is I want to ask is, why do you like that message? What got you on that message? I want to play it all the way to the end. Why? So whatever their answer is, okay? And here's the reason why I'm trying to add, I'm going down that. I want to know why they're convicted. You got to know. If they go, well, this is a great way to go get more business. Boom, you need to hit the brakes, because your message is going to get spun up with somebody that's got a different agenda than you, and you're going to get messed up. Okay.
Real talk.
So, all right, if Jay and I are sitting there doing that, Jay goes, hey man, I go, well, let's go talk afterwards or something like that or whatever, and we start getting going. I mean, here's what I'm looking for. Hey man, that message really mattered. I've been doing real estate for a long time. I could really get behind a message like that. You know, by the way, my brother served, or hey, by the way, you know what, I've been trying to find a way to give back, and that is, I hear you. I want to get after it. But I'm about to lock in now, okay?
You want to know their why.
And I'm going to go, I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go, that's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody that's convicted and passionate, because by the way, you're going to do some damage with somebody that starts having a heart into it versus they want to go chase deals. So then I want to say, okay, I want to know about your business. Unpack me your business right now. What did you do last month? What did you do last year? Where are you going? I almost want to start doing an interview. Okay? Like if you were sitting down with any agent, wouldn't you start asking those questions? I got to know how serious this person is. I mean, before we start going investing all of this energy and resources into a person, let's make sure that they're real, okay? Then I'm going to go move into, okay, a lot of the parallels that we've done as an organization and a company, which has moved that needle 46% in 8 months, you could be doing. Have you closed any deals for veterans? Yes, no. No, I've never have. Okay, hear me out here. That doesn't scare me, but hey, we kind of got to talk about that right there, because I got to make sure that they understand. You know, look, the engagement piece. I mean, you know, what's here. I mean, you know, maybe we got to sharpen the needle a little bit on how to present that. I mean, like, you know, you're going to find your opportunities, and here's what I'm saying. All of these to me are opportunities. You're going to find your opportunities to start going deeper with that person. That's your goal. How do I go deeper with that person? If you don't ask questions, you will not get the answer to that. So, have you done a VA loan would be a very important question. Are you involved with first responders would be another very big question. If maybe they have an edge you don't even have, but you will never know if you don't ask that question. What if they say, yeah, my brother runs the Plano Police Department? Okay, well, that's good. I mean, right? Like that. Like, I don't have that. So that's going to be fun to work with together. You may find that edge all of a sudden that boom, we've got something. He's got something you don't have, or she's got something you don't have. So again, explore, just how good you get exploring is, to me, is how good you get of how you're going to combine efforts. So the whole goal there is that you are looking for, and here's the last thing I want to say about kind of, if I'm sitting down with an agent, do not, 1,000%, do not commit that you are, okay, we're rolling. I want you to go, look, this has been a good meeting. I want to think through a few things, because I want you to get ultra selective in this kind of strategy, okay? Ultra selective in this strategy. I don't think you get ultra selective in who you put in a room. I think you've got to communicate that message out. You are looking for those deals. Those deals hopefully are coming back to you. You want to keep pumping marketing material to them. You want to have all your Facebook rolling. You want to have your praise reports going. But when you start talking about like, hey, I'm going to come and I'm going to come kind of line up with you and go parallel, and I'm going to help you kind of do some of the things that we as an organization, a company, are moving our needle, be alert and be selective, okay? Do not compromise on that. I think this could be an opportunity that you could build at least 5 dedicated agents around your business. Do you agree with that or disagree? Okay? So, go ahead.
Do you think like when you are doing these kind of events, like maybe doing the class as CE, like giving
No, I don't even care about that.
No?
I think it's stupid, but whatever. I mean, that's my opinion.
But that's the word that you have people very.
Why do I care about that?
Because somebody can just go and do the class and then find out like, hey, I'm really interested in this. And I'm telling you why, because when we were before.
I just wouldn't get hung up on it. I would not get hung up on the whole CE thing. Let me tell you what I know about that is I know that it's a package. And I know that it can become the whole drumbeat of the whole thing. So how about this? What if we try it without the CE? So everybody does.
Can I touch on this, dude? Can I just say this, man? Fucking forget CE. Just get over it, all right? That is not why people show up to this class. It is the cherry on top.
Okay, all right.
People show up. Look at Jason Steyer. He never taught one CE class. And he's taught, seriously, over 700 real estate agents.
Okay, so I'm going to keep rolling. So the CE to me
You're missing the point.
I think you can do just fine without it. That's what I think. Okay, I would not get hung up on it. The other thing is that to me it becomes more about that than what your message was, and that's not what we're looking for to begin with. Okay, I'm not telling you to abandon ship on it. I'm just telling you just park it over on the side right now. Okay, all right. The last point that we want to hit on, and this is Garrett, this is where I need you and Lauren, okay, is that I want to develop a action after kit for the realtors that we're going to go deeper with, okay? And what that consists of is some praise reports that they could co-market with us, what that would consist of. And so one of the questions that I would ask them is that, hey, tell me about like 2 very memorable closings that you might have had. Because I want to see if I can find some of their praise report stories, because ultimately all we want to do is see if we can go capture those. And I want you to kind of think a little bit like you're your own media team. I don't want you to just go keep running to Garrett and Lauren on this. Be kind of your own marketing strategy on this, because I mean, think about it. How hard is it, really? How hard would this be to just get their great stories and reach out to that person, get a picture and I mean, how hard would it be to actually do that, right? I mean, if you just really think about it, I just need his picture, and I really just need to do his quote. I mean, at the end of the day, we're done.
That's what we're sending to them.
Yeah, but you want theirs.
Yeah, but I'm saying like when we send it to Garrett and Lauren, that's what we're sending.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
already
but
there, the email, so we can do that.
well, we want to start personalizing that for them. Like and the thing is if we're going to go deeper with like these 5, we want to try to help them win in a victory where we're having a lot of victories, and it's praise reports. So if we can find some victories that they've had, then we want to go share their victories. I'd like to co-brand with them. But if they don't have them, then maybe we have to consider, do we let them share on ours? Okay, I don't know yet. But that's a decision you got to make while you're like before you engage. What are you thinking?
We can work up probably like a film media that you guys can easily add a photo and
Okay. But the components of how you move the needle when you're there, and I think that's probably the greatest gift I could give you right now. Is number 1 is the praise reports, and then keeping a consistent drumbeat on that. Okay. So if the real estate agent understands that as this partnership, we're looking for these, then in other words, now we're in search together, and more importantly is that then we're going to co-do them together, and then we're going to go market them out together, and that becomes this kind of cool strategy that I want to start doing with. That'd be number 1. Number 2 is that because I think this is that next hill I'm going to get us to right now is the veteran hill. Is that if they're trying to go get into this, first responder, veteran hill, that's where you got to go communicate that message. You agree? So if they're convicted, well, then let's go get them that opportunity of hearing from those people and being able to serve those people. If we don't get that one, we missed it all. But now think about this. Now you got 5 people that are all of a sudden kind of part of your army that could go and go help you start communicating that message out to the veteran and the first responder world. And that's what you're looking for. You agree? Okay. So that heal, number 1, for sure, identify the heal, because it is a real heal. Number 2 is how do we take it, and then how do we hold it? All right? So I've got some thoughts on it. We'll see. I think it's the harder one of the 2, but the first thing I would say is we got to get involved. If you're going to ever think that you're going to have any success in the veteran heal and getting veterans together and messaging to them, I think you've got to get yourself active in your community.
100%.
So the thing is like, again, if I have that realtor, I almost want to start to have some of those plates spinning where I'm thinking about like because every place you are at, every single place you live at, this exists. I promise you it exists. There are veteran organizations that exist around you that if you'll just go and go search them out, they are there. And then I think, again, you need to start figuring out who they are, what they're about, what their goals are, how they interact with the community, what their reach is. And then, before you commit to, hey, I want to help you, I want you to go explore first, okay? Because you can get real busy with this concept right here. And my fear for you is it's like in a deal like this, is that you get yourself committed, but you don't monetize it. It can happen so quick. You get so busy, and then you're like, dang, man, but there's nothing really coming out of that. I mean, we got to have both plays here. We got to get involved, and we got to serve it. We got to translate it into monetization on this strategy. Okay, on this strategy. So I would go explore. Veterans, the Alabama veterans, Chris Montz kind of did this on his own. We started, you found a place that you could go and go serve, right? And in that, are you meeting veterans? Okay, and in that, are you developing relationships that, based on this conversation right here, will help you?
Yeah, it takes a while for them to build your trust, to know that you're not in it for the wrong reasons. I've been involved in about 1.5 years now, but now they're starting to know that.
Let me ask you this question: could somebody else as a mortgage lender come walk in there and come take over?
Not easy.
No way, right?
Well, here's the thing: when Chris first met me, he was telling me about Alabama veterans. He's like, "Yeah, I've been doing this, but I'm not getting any traction." I said, "Chris, why don't you start posting things like, hey, did you know the VA loan does this? Hey, did you know the VA loan?" So then he comes back like a month later, "Man, this stuff really works. Jay, if you tell these people to go in there and post," I'm like, "Really? That's a great idea, Chris. I'm going to go tell everybody that. Thanks for giving me that."
That was a joke, man. I'm picking fun at you.
So that veteran heal to me is you got to get involved. Okay, if you don't get involved, I don't think you get there. I'm not telling you couldn't do heal number 1. I'm just telling you your heal number 2. It's a different level commitment. So that's where I would start. I would get involved. That'd be number 1. Number 2, veteran heal. Veteran heal are past veterans. So everybody in here, have you closed a VA loan? Yes. Okay. I would 400% go take inventory of my past veterans, and then I would think, who in that group is my Chad? Who in that group is my Chad? Go ahead.
Something else too that I was going to say is once you get involved in these different organizations, you learn a different perspective from their side. Because the one thing that I never try to do is try to understand, I can see what you've been doing. No, you don't, because you've never been there.
Yeah.
To me, that's like offensive to them. If you're trying to say that, because they get aggravated at that when they go to
You don't have to say I understand, but you can say I empathize.
No, I just say, how can I help? How can I help?
I hear you, man.
Let's
go ahead.
And you try to help.
I just want to add, adding a little pin, like a little American flag, or I noticed that I needed to start dressing down, because when I come in and be like, oh, there's money because I'm the mortgage banker. So if I started looking around, I'm like, okay, well, they're wearing flip-flops. Just know how to mirror people. And sometimes if you don't know what to say, just listen. And until you start to kind of feel the vibe in the room, and you start figuring out, like, every time you get into one of these meetings or you go to an event, what they're really promoting is what they're doing in the community to bring awareness to the cause. So back what they're doing. You don't even have to necessarily go and create all the events. Just say, okay, you know what, I take my plan everywhere I go. Okay, on Saturday, da-da-da. And we do it as a family. Like, we are bought in. Now, I haven't monetized it. Okay,
Yeah, but you know what,
we're
though?
bought in.
You
So we
could.
show up on
I'm
Saturday
telling
and
you,
we
you
do
are
the
one
work.
dial turn right now, and I want to help you figure this out. But this is so you're exactly what I'm talking about right now. Is somebody that goes, gets engaged, figures it out, but it can be monetized. I promise you it can. So the part that you have is the part that I had, when we started yesterday morning, was we were doing all of this over there, and I was like, man, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go over here and go, okay, now guess what? We really want these loans, because I was kind of scared that everybody would think that my motives were impure. And yet, I think you've got to kind of gain this courage right now of they're going to go somewhere, Selena. So if you can prevent a car accident, would you do? That is the question you got to ask yourself. So if the answer is yes, then you got to go. You got to be bold enough in those organizations now to go, hey, you know what? Look, I'm really doing everybody a disservice. I really need to re-communicate with everybody here. You know what? I am in the mortgage world, and by the way, I love veterans, and so help me. If you're doing something, please, for the love of God, come talk to me. Don't go someplace else. I mean, and I think the thing is because you haven't said it, I guarantee you this, I guarantee you people in those organizations have gone someplace else. And I bet you'd find out they would have much rather worked with you, but they didn't know. Okay, you've got to change that right now. All right. So, where were we? Somebody remind me where we were. Who's your chat? Thank you. Okay. So in that, my whole goal and objective would be there is who's my chat? Who's my chat? So if I want to go back and go take inventory of the VA loans that I've done, maybe my chat's in there. Let me unpack a chat for you, okay? Because chat's not chat. Chat's just a word that I'm using right now. Chat is somebody that could be in my marketplace that all of a sudden is involved in these things that I'm talking about already. They have influence, and you meet them or you have done a loan for them or whatever that is, okay? And here's what I'm saying. Ultimately, at the end of the day, is that they would champion a message with you because they care about veterans too. Jump in. You think you might have a chat?
I mean, I definitely have a chat. I mean, so we had Boots in the Bluegrass. You've been to that.
Yeah.
This gentleman came, and I met him through a guy that was also in the military. Come to find out, he's very involved with outreach. He bought a property in Frankfurt. His wife works at UK. He was on SEAL Team 6 for 9 years as a sniper. He's the most humble guy you'll ever meet, but everyone that meets this guy knows he's the real deal. And the people in his community that know him have the most respect for him. So we brought him into our office. He already owned 2 houses, but me and Marty went through everything with him, just making sure, hey, we want to make sure that you're in the right product, everything's good. And he left, he's like, Stosh, I'll do anything in the world for you guys. Because you do things right, you actually care about veterans, and I can't talk to the guys that I know unless I vet people. I'm like, we're all on the same page here. So for the last year I've gone to his property, I've helped him build these cabins. I go there when he has guys come in that have PTSD, he's doing retreats, and now he sees me as I'm not just a partner, but I'm his friend, and so. But it's getting in there and doing the hard work. It's going there on a Saturday and doing drywall. And I don't want to wake up Saturday morning and do that, but it's like it's bigger than me too. And so I think when you find people like that it's not a partnership. It's a partnership because you both are doing things together. And I'm sure everybody in this room knows someone like him.
Well, maybe. But here's what I'm saying. I want to get you aware. I want you to start looking for that, okay? Because they are in your community, and by the way, they want to be partnered with someone that shares their conviction about what we're talking about right now, okay? And to me, that's the guy. I mean, like, I don't know where that falls, like kind of in the lineage. It could happen at any moment. If you're doing the right things, this person will show up. Just get ready, okay? And what I love about that is that whenever you find, I think you do want to develop a friendship. But now, you want to go get to a veteran hill, just listen to me very carefully on this. Who is Stewart Hunter? Who? I'm nobody in the respect of maybe even outside of this room, right? I mean, it just doesn't matter. So if I'm standing in front of a bunch of veterans, is it better for me to have Chad Fleming say, hey man, let me tell you something. Benchmark, boom, 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 boom. Or is it better for me to go, hey, listen to me, you know? I mean, I'd rather have Chad. I'm just telling you, you know? Same thing. I'd rather have Jay out on the road whenever it really matters for the big events, because who's Jay? Jay is Jay. Everybody knows who Jay is in this room, but Jay carries a different agenda and a different spirit about him because of his background versus, say, mine in that. So, I mean, you know, you already have Jay, which is great, but I want you to start thinking about who your Chad is, okay? Because if you're going to go and go take this hill, I'm telling you, don't go run up that hill by yourself. You want to go run up with somebody like a Chad. That's who you want. So, 2 things on Chad. One is, if you don't have a Chad, I'll lend him to you. But I really want you to find yours, okay? So what I'm thinking there is that, okay, so Chad's going to be more about, you know, benchmark. He'll be our spokesman. He'll be our voice. Y'all saw that little commercial yesterday. That is touching. We are barely touching the iceberg there, man. I mean, there's so much fun stuff we're going to be able to do around Chad. But I want you to be thinking about it like this: is that if you were going to do an event, okay, and if in fact it was like a veteran event, you could use Chad as your silver lure, okay? But we got to monetize it, okay? I'm not just going to go send Chad all over the place. That's silly. I mean, by the way, Chad's speaking fee, get ready, 15 grand, okay? So you go, wow, man, I would need to have a really good event. I want you to think that it costs 15 grand because that's what it costs. It's $2,500 for y'all, okay? So if we have Chad come out, it's $2,500. And if you can't make it make sense for $2,500, listen, you don't need Chad. Okay? So, I mean, I want you to have an event that matters if you're going to use Chad. So that means you got to get after it again. And what would we do around that? I don't know, but I would talk it out with you. I mean, if it were me, I would probably think a mini Patriot tour. I would probably think something that I could go and go get a lot of people. Like when I think about it, I think about like our Lockheed Martin deal. I think about our Toyota opportunity. I mean, you know, where we have an opportunity with a lot of people and we want to get everybody's attention. I want to roll a guy in like that, right? And then all of a sudden, he's a spokesman for our company or you or your branch or whatever that is. And so you got to figure out how do you monetize that. The one thing I can tell you about Chad is I've had a lot of good conversations about monetizing around him, and he understands it very clearly. We need to get loans, okay? We need to get loans. And he does understand very clearly we are the best place for that veteran to go. So he's totally convicted. But that's where I would go with that guy, okay? I mean, in other words, I would go with, number one, he needs to really understand y'all do loans. Number two is he really needs to understand is that his fellow brothers and sisters are going to go somewhere and go do loans. And number three, he needs to understand that, you know what, if he's going to be on the team, we got to monetize him. And the way we're going to monetize him is that somehow, some way, he's got to communicate that.
We had an event this spring, and so what we did is we rented out 2 theaters for the premiere of 13 Hours. And I brought Steve. I invited all the veterans that I know, that I've worked with. We had 130 people. And Steve came in front of the movie theater and told everybody in there, hey, this is my guy, this is what I do. I probably got 20 deals from that this year at VA.
Dude, hold on. Wow. Huge. Took a military movie. I rented out the theater, invited a bunch of veterans, had a spokesperson. That's what he just said. Game over. I love that one. That's a big one. By the way, you're not going to stop coming out. And by the way, that's going to get somebody's attention. That is so much better than standing up and trying to talk to somebody. I mean, really, what you really want to communicate to a veteran community is that, hey, when you're thinking about doing this, you just please think about us. That's it. I mean, you know, you don't have to go along with this. But if we give them a reason, that's a good one. But that's what we want, right? Is that as you start running up these hills, we need to hear what works. We got to hear what works. So keep going.
What's good about him?
Here, come teach it.
No, I mean, so like, it's like you're talking about Toyota, right? So Toyota has a veterans association with about 500 people in Lexington. Their person in Lexington that was in charge of the Veterans Association is now the national person in charge of the Veterans Association, which is actually here in Plano. They want Steve Brown to come talk to it because now they all came to the movie, right? The Toyota guys. Now they're like, can you get Steve for us? So it's like, I'm like, hey Steve, we're gonna go do this. Like, I'll go wherever. So once you find that person, they're gonna go wherever you want to go because they see a point in doing it too. That's what's cool. I'm not even selling me anymore. I'm not even talking about loans. I got this guy and he'll do it, you know, and he's as passionate about it as I am.
So the other thing, I would use, so I'm going to weave in Patriot Tour right now. So I would use this, so again, my brain, the way I think through a marketing strategy is I think in themes. I don't want to get confused with my message. So right now, if I were you, I would lock in all things Patriot Tour. That's what I would lock in. And I would attach myself in 1,000 different directions to Patriot Tour. Okay, this is where we got to get really good right now, okay? You ready? Is that we've got Patriot Tour for a very short fuse. So we have before, we have during, and we have after. So before is that no events happened yet, but it's coming. You agree? Okay, there's 5 venues. Don't get worried about what cities you're going to. It does not matter. It's like the CE deal. It just doesn't matter. You get stuck on that. It doesn't matter. I mean, the fact is, chances are they're not coming to where you are. You agree? Yes. Okay, so how I would use that is that it's a brand. Patriot Tour is a brand that has people that are attached to that brand that have market influence. So it's a brand that people are attached to that have market influence. So right now we're doing a spotlight, is that right?
Speaker spotlight.
Talk.
Right now we're just doing a little write-up on all the speakers, which y'all know are Chad is MC, you got Marcus, Tate Kyle, and David Goggins, who is a marathon runner. So right now all y'all's pages are posting those speaker spotlights on who they are, kind of setting the stage for what this event is.
Okay, so I would, number one, know who each person is on that. I would research. I would do that. Okay. Number 2 is that I would find something that connects with me to that person, and I would share my heart based on why I am, as in I'm being you right now, why you are proud to be associated with the Patriot Tour and that person. So the 2 connections that you have to do is Patriot Tour first, then that person. Let me tell you why. Taya Kyle, for example, has her own agent. We know her, haven't gotten a chance to really go and practice with her yet. I feel like we could probably gain and we'll probably be in a good spot, but I mean, there's a lot going on. You could just say hot there. So, you know, maybe it's a down the road kind of strategy, but right now you can attach yourself to Taya without us having to go through all of what we just had to go through to just get done on Patriot Tour, because there's going to be a lot of stuff to work out. We can for sure, 100% say this right here. Ready? So proud to be part of the Patriot Tour. Really excited that Taya Kyle is part of the Patriot Tour. Taya has championed military spouses. And for that, I love her. For that, I appreciate her voice. Personalize something. Here's all you just accomplished. You, Patriot Tour, Taya Kyle. That's what I want you to lock in on. All the rest of it is fill in. So figure that out. You, Patriot Tour, Taya Kyle. You, Patriot Tour, David Goggins. Okay? They all have their own audience. They're totally different. All right. You're going to end up probably finding somebody that goes, dang, I love Taya Kyle too. Again, did Patriot Tour come to you? No. But you're starting to inject and starting to brand yourself with that person, and that's what I'm trying to get you to go leech a hole to there. Okay?
Stewart, can we have a JPEG that's like Patriot Tour and KF, and then so we can do that, and then Patriot Tour and Marcus? You know what I'm saying? I mean, we can go snap.
Yeah, we have more graphics queued up that we're going to be releasing
You just want like the individual things?
Yeah, so when we write about what he just said, we can also.
How about on your signature line, sponsor the Patriot Tour? But
Yeah, I mean,
Is
yeah.
it like this or
Both of the
just like
signature lines,
individual?
or anyone wants to add that, we're like proud sponsor of the Patriot Tour.
don't give them a choice. Add it to the whole fucking
And
company.
just so you know, too, like, we don't have like.
If they get a choice, they won't do it. They can do it.
We don't have special access to like photos, y'all. Those are all just pulled from Google. Honestly, we'll certainly give it to you. We don't have like special things that are given to us.
Just because I don't know how to make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, hey, so, like on all those requests, just hear me out here. I like them. I think, again, I want us to think through them. If they make sense, I want to execute on them, and then I want to get them out in the benchmark mastermind. If there's a better way to do what you're trying to accomplish, I want to consider it, okay?
So, and this is probably getting over the skis, but I just texted Caleb to see if we could live stream on the Patriot Tours, and you could do it here.
Maybe, yeah, I like that. Go ahead.
Okay, so that just then one question I was asking, we live stream and turn around those of us that can't get our veterans to one of the Patriot Tour locations.
Yeah, and I can.
We can run a movie theater and live stream in the movie theater and have everybody come in there.
So here's the thing. I just texted the head of Patriot Tour asking her that exact question. So I'll get an answer on that. The other thing is we'll be there, so maybe we put together a full-length Patriot Tour video that you can take to a theater and do yourself.
Okay, so strategy will work on, but listen to me. I don't want to get stuck on what we don't have. I want to get stuck on what we do have, okay? Because right now, if I were you, I'd be thinking about my post today, my post today. But look, internalize this and start thinking about what your own strategy is. Like the one thing that I do love is that I think we do, or we're going to have a good strategy and it'll go. But I would way more like, I've got a strategy and I know where I'm going and I know why, okay? So I just don't want you to be dependent on where we're going. I want you to kind of know. So again, the thing that I'm thinking about there is that I want you to think about this in lengths of time. So right now, I'd be all things Patriot Tour, okay?
Yes.
Now, when we get done with Patriot Tour, which will be somewhere right there, we'll still be sprinkling in some Patriot Tour, but you're going to see that theme will flip because we're probably going to go boot shoot, right?
Yeah.
So what are we going to do there? We're going to talk about giving, okay? And we're going to talk about other organizations that make a difference. And then somewhere down there, boom, we'll flip again, and I don't know where we'll be. But I like where the train is like kind of coming out of the gate right now a whole lot, and I think that we can really, I mean, if you could just do two things, I think you've won. And here it is. If you could widen your audience that you communicate with through social media to veterans and first responders, victory. And if you could widen and expand your imprint or brand through the referral sources that you use that they attach to that, victory. Yeah.
And to that point too, just so you guys know, in the tests that we've done kind of with our ads and stuff on this whole initiative, veterans definitely respond when being talked to by other veterans. I know it's just repeating what we said earlier by finding your chat, but that's really what we see as working is when the veteran talks to the veteran, that's when we get the most responses back. So think that way as well.
Okay, I'm going to sum up Veteran Heal. Everybody ready? Veteran Heal, number one, you got to get involved. Number two, who's your chat? If you don't have a chat, use our chat. Number three, social media, have your strategy. I would build it around Patriot Tour right now. And I would not leave these out. I mean, I would have it sprinkled in with victory, Patriot Tour, victory, I mean, keep a theme, okay? Hey, we're doing really good for this veteran. We want to jump up and down and champion this. And by the way, I'm really hoping everybody in here starts finding us more of these, okay? Because that means we're winning, and we're getting them over there, and then we're getting to share them, okay? So everybody's got to do your part on that. Everybody agree with that? Okay, we got to find, I don't care who they are. Close them good and get them to us, okay? All right.
I have a quick question. When y'all say about getting your child, does it have to, like, you know, does it matter what type of veteran it is?
No.
As long as they're a veteran,
No.
they're just passionate about it. It doesn't have to be a war hero.
No, but I mean, but do they have influence? Are they connected? I mean,
I'm
can
not a
they?
hero.
You're my hero.
Yeah.
You're my hero too, man.
Okay, one off question. So what I haven't done is started a group on Facebook to put these people in.
No.
Do I need to do that?
No. Why would you do that? Why would you go second yourself?
Don't split it yourself.
Okay, alright.
Okay, we're not cutting the herd there. You're cutting the herd only on your real estate agents, and that's one off. Hey, I want to engage with you. I want to give you things that help grow your business. I'm not going to go do that to everybody in the room, right?
Right.
Okay.
Stewart, does it lessen my credibility if I post one of these?
No.
And then, no, wait a minute, and then the LO that closed out loud
No,
comments and said, hey, that's my customer.
they're
No,
not.
you shouldn't do that. Don't do that.
Yes, they are.
I don't care. Then we're
Okay,
stopping.
that's what-
Who did that?
Well, we can say that privately, but,
Well, it's not.
I mean,
That's
well
not
intended, they were
nice.
proud. but-
Okay, well then, well intended, they can be proud on their own page. I mean, seriously, because we have a strategy, and we're
It's
gonna.
about the
we're gonna-
story, not the person.
I agree.
That's
Okay, our strategy is that we need a lot of praise reports, and we're all as an organization champion behind them. My expectation is y'all are gonna help fill that pot up too, so that's the victory. And then we need to communicate that, okay? This is a strategy. Look, we want everybody to be able to champion your own deal, to do it on your own page, so we keep a good thing going. I guarantee you that still didn't mess you up. There's no way that messed you up.
I just wanted to-
It's a victory we are celebrating through our company. Okay. Where am I?
You're finishing up the hill.
Social media.
Get involved, get a chat, social media.
Yeah, so my takeaway on the veteran hill. Okay, does everybody understand veteran hill?
Yes.
Does everybody understand strategy behind it? Can I leave it? Or does anybody have a question? Okay.
I've been following a lead. Can you hear me? I've been following on Facebook a lead that from military board boot camp, and his strategy is he got on Facebook and said, who can I highlight? It was a video. Who can I highlight that does business that's veteran owned and operated?
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Okay.
And so people start
I know who she's
saying who they are, and then that gets you.
Yeah, and then he's trying to help promote them as well, which is really good. Okay, good. All right, we're leaving Veteran Hill. So we've done Realtor Hill, Veteran Hill, we're going to Builder Hill. Okay? All right. Builder Hill. How do we take it? How do we keep it? All right. Before we get to PowerPoint, okay? So is that PowerPoint ready on that builder deal? Okay. Before we get to the PowerPoint, what I want to do is I want to make sure that that I help talk about how you identify a builder. Okay? All right. Let's go to Waco. Okay? Waco's not Houston, but Waco's got building, right? How many homes does the biggest builder in Waco build?
About 300.
300. Okay, who is that?
Stylecraft.
They all in that range of 300? Okay, so your top line, when I'm identifying, is I want to know who's King Kong. Okay? All right, who's my mid-tier builder? How many they build? Okay, so my jump's 330. Right, hear that? Okay. All right. Go back to your 300 real quick. Rattle that one off. Okay. Stylecraft. I don't know from Adam. They're doing 300 homes. They have their own mortgage company? Okay. Have you ever talked to them? How'd that go?
I'm not getting anything from them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who did you talk to?
Sales rep.
Sales rep. Okay. Is your organization based in Waco? Where are they based out of? So, but then they got to have somebody that is over the Waco division, right? Okay. So, I want to try to dumb this down as easy as I can. Because to me, it can be an overwhelming subject and you can think, oh, I don't know how I would ever get there. The fastest way to go get in with a builder is their sales consultant. So if you can make inroads with a sales consultant, you can start out-servicing them, and you can get a little bit of crack in the door, that is a good thing, okay? But to me, very first thing is I would take inventory of who the builders are that are in my marketplace. I would want to understand what the landscape and the playing field looks like. Two is I would ask myself, is there any connection that I have to any of these? And if the answer is yes, I would start with my relationship, okay? And how I'm going to work myself in. So the builders that we have pitched this to, we had a working relationship with them, just so we're clear, okay? So we have not just out of the gate cold called somebody that all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we'll take it. We somehow worked ourselves into their organization. Now, once we worked ourselves into the organization and we had this good track record, then we immediately got to the top as fast as we could, and then that's when we pitched. All right. So far, and I'll get to the pitch. I'm going back 100%, and I'll give you all that in a minute. It is impressive, by the way, and it is powerful. And you want to move your needle, it is a game over strategy. To me, it's a one thing that I do not think you take off your radar. And the other thing I will tell you is you have such a powerful message that's sitting in front of you right now that if you put this as a hill and if you focused on it, I think you could get there. Okay? And I would help you get there. But you got to do your part. And doing your part, you've got to work yourself kind of into a point to where we can even be taken serious. See what I'm saying? This is not a cold call strategy is really where I'm going with this. This is not a, hey, come on, come off. Now, I'll tell you how to backdoor it. Here's how I backdoor it. Because I saw this work. So in this, there's a component of when we go visit with the builder of teaching the sales team, okay? And so I don't know that I wouldn't think about on one of these builders that I wanted to target, hey, you know, what if I could do the sales training for your sales team? Or you get with a salesperson, you say, hey, let me show you how valuable this could be for you and for y'all as a builder. And that way, what you're really communicating is you don't have to be this whole VA builder out in the marketplace. It's just the sales consultant starts to understand how to identify better, how to communicate with a veteran, and potentially how to close a veteran. Okay, that's it. We have that. So I don't want to go through that, but I just want to tell you that's how to backdoor. Okay, so why are y'all excited about the builder thing? First off, just somebody jump into it. Like whenever we put that on the agenda, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, I want to hear that." Why?
I don't have to approach it. Yeah.
You don't know how to approach it. Why? Somebody else.
We just want something different than everybody else.
Okay, what's so different than everybody else?
How many people don't do business with builders right now? Raise your hand. Because it's not like in Michigan, builders just aren't a thing. They're not builders. It's not like everywhere, like Texas and California, where they're blowing up, right? So, but they are starting to come into states where they haven't been recently because maybe the economy's now starting to pick up. Thanks, Trump, right? So, but because of that, now the builders are starting to build homes. And everywhere you go nationwide, there's low inventory. So the opportunity for new home building is there because now there's no more homes to sell that are existing. So now all of a sudden builders are this hot little commodity. They're the new kid on the block in a lot of states. And you have when's the last, I mean, none of you guys have talked to builders in years, right?
Okay, so let me jump back in this, Jay, because it's 10. So there's two strategies. Huh? Okay. All right. I'm watching time. I'm going to be an asshole right now. Sit down. Okay. So I would ID a builder as follows. Okay. I would backdoor them with their sales team, but I would get involved in the Home Builders Association. Okay. So the Home Builders Association is, to me, is like the veteran hill, and I think you've got to go make yourself relevant, and more importantly, you've got to go meet builders. Okay. In there, I would be asking questions of them while I'm in there, and I would be sourcing, for example, is there an opportunity? One is, hey, you know what? What's your price point? That's a big one. If you're going to go with a strategy, you've got to have the right price point. That'd be A. B is, what's your inventory and how many homes do you sell? Okay? Then I would be looking for my opportunity to say this right here. Ready? Same thing that we said when we said to the realtor. Hey, at our company, we've moved the needle 46% in 8 months. It's a game changer. I have something that if you would give me a little bit of time and I was able to communicate it, it will sell homes like on steroids. When do you want to talk? That's how I would do it, okay?
Say that again?
I don't even know what you said. Here.
It's on video.
Okay.
Okay. So, I would look for the opportunity, and then when it presented itself, Sally, I would say, we have a strategy that our company has moved the needle 46% in 8 months, and it will flat out sell homes. When do you want to talk? Now, let's go through the PowerPoint. Ready? So now we're there. This is what we're presenting to a builder. And we're going to rush through this. It's 10. Okay, keep moving. So the presentation, I think, is important for you to see because I think it will help you set the stage for if, in fact, you get this opportunity. Okay? So the very first thing that we're going through is that when we sit down is that, again, we want to ask good questions. We want to ask good questions. Some of the good questions that we're asking are, how many neighborhoods are you in? What's your price point? How many sales consultants do you have? How do you sell homes? So when we went through it with the last one we did, and we went through, it was like this. All right, how many subdivisions you're in? I think they said something like 18 or 20, okay? Now, why is that important for me to ask that question?
Because if you're going to go work with yourself, you need to know.
And logistically, they're broken up. So what we're talking about right now on the word go is we got 18 different places that we got to basically go visit. You agree? Okay. Number 2, how many sales consultants do you have? This one said 46. Okay, why is that important? That's a lot of people. That's it. There's a magic answer. So, okay, you've got to be thinking strategy the whole time. All right, I mean, I got to freaking meet 46 people. That's good. I'm just telling you it's a good problem to have. But when we looked at it, we got real strategic with that account, and basically what we said was, that look, we're not going to have success at 46. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to break these down into tranches of 8, and we're going to pair 1 to 8, because we're building a heavy relationship, okay? So again, this could be a huge opportunity for anybody that's in this room, because now all of a sudden you've got to figure out how do you manage an account. But understand, that's what you're talking about sometimes when you go into these buildings. I know they're not as big as what I'm describing, but these questions still matter. Number 3 was, who sells your homes? I understand you have 46 sales consultants, but tell me who sells your homes. Most of the home sales for us are coming from real estate agents. Oh, so they're bringing you a client. Yes. Okay. Well, do you know who they are? Yes, we track them. Awesome. So we can get that? Yes. Okay. So all I'm doing is I'm just uncovering things, okay? Now, listen to this question. Do you give an incentive to a first responder or a veteran? Yes. No. Okay. What is it? In ours, it started out, oh yeah, what we do is that we give an incentive to a first responder or or a veteran, and it's $5,000. And I'm like, well, do they know that, or do they have to ask for it? Like, how? They're like, oh no, we give it to them when they come. I'm like, okay, well, what if you told everybody that? Like, what if, like, does your real estate agents know that? Like, I'm just started asking, like, who knows this? Oh, it's something, I mean, you can't even believe this. Here's something that like, I mean, when we're doing, we work, we just know we have it. I'm like, okay, so really, no one really knows. No, but you would give it. Yeah, we give it. Okay. So we just write that down. And then where we got was, and I said, okay, look, after the presentation I get done, if you want to do this, I want you to consider, sorry, I asked one more question. What do you spend on getting those buyers to your community? What's your marketing budget? Big question. Because they may be spending something already.
In addition to each real estate agent commission, they keep each, like, wasn't it another 1,000 or 2,000?
So their marketing budget was to incentivize real estate agents. Okay? So they said, okay, instead of taking all this money and throwing it out there, we'll just incentivize these people that are getting the buyers, and we'll incentivize them more to bring the deal here. This is good to know, isn't it? Okay, so because my next question was, is it okay if you didn't have to go and give them all these commissions, would you potentially take some of those dollars and let's go in another direction if in fact I had a really good idea, right? Like, would you redeploy dollars? Yes. Okay. I said, have you ever been able to go get your voice out to the community where people just showed up because they heard how good you are as a builder? No. This is a big builder we're talking to too. Okay? So basically, you have zero marketing effort out in the marketplace. Yes. Okay, so you are literally all based on realtor. I just want to make sure I understand this. Yes. So if any builder out there wanted to get super competitive right now, they could just pay a little bit more to the agent and then you take that person. Y'all agree?
Yeah.
That's kind of a bad plan to me. All right? But anyway, we identified it. All right, so here we go. We started going and doing this. Starting from the very, 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 very top, okay? So before we went and ever started talking about our deal, we told them our why. Let me tell you why I'm sitting in front of you today. This is a big deal if you're going to go pitch a builder or anybody that has any market share whatsoever. Because if you make it about, let's just go get a bunch of deals, you're going to miss this. So I slow it down and I say, here's the deal. We've been doing loans for a long time, about 20 years. We do a bunch of them. We do. I'm not pitching you this just so we go get a few more. I'm pitching you this because I am convicted about making a difference in first responders and veterans' lives. Because I am. And I think that once I share this with you, if you wanted to become one of those companies and you wanted to partner together, we could really, really do some damage together. And I mean, I would start with an emotional start, okay, of why I am sitting in front of you today, okay? And then as we move off that, we talk about things that we do right now, you know? I mean, we do boot shoot. We put our money where our mouth is. We take care of veterans. By the way, we do this builder product right now with other builders, and we're starting to have success. So we already have the ball rolling. It's not a theory, okay? We already work with builders and we're really good at it. Like we do a bunch of builder business in Benchmark. Just know that, okay? And we are good at it. So I would start saying some things that are factual before I started going into this that connect with them, because I'm telling you, here's what the builder's thinking. But you don't know my industry. You don't understand what our time span is between when we start construction and at the end. And furthermore, here's what they're really thinking, okay? You don't have the gunpowder that I need. So I want to get over all of that. Oh, yes, we do. We already do it, and we're completely focused on it. And I'm not so sure I wouldn't have a list of builders that we already do business with at that point in time, which is another thing I want you to put on your list, okay? Of just the, and what we do. Because it'll build credibility. I'm trying to get you credibility versus, aren't you just this little office? No, you missed me, buddy. I mean, I'm part of a real builder mortgage company. So that's what this is. Benchmark cares. Hit that next slide. So then I say, hold on, go back to Jay. Then I say, part of what we've done in our company is that we have literally retooled our entire company to make and ensure that when I present this to you, that we can do what we say we can do. We are so dead focused on veterans that we've retooled our entire operations. We've dismantled our underwriting. We've refigured out the appraisals. I'm going to start hitting some stuff right now. In fact, we went out and hired the best VA trainer that existed on earth. And by the way, then I would probably have another slide of Chad. Chad's our spokesman. So we're going to keep adding to this. We just created this. I mean, we've only presented this a few times. And by the time, every time we presented it, I'm talking about 100% gone. Okay? So this right here just shows them, again, how much gunpowder we have behind this. And that's important that you understand that. All right, hit me next slide. Then the benchmark never quits. This right here, to me, just starts to kind of start laying out that we have a brand, and by the way, you want to be part of our brand, okay? Because our brand is that we do never quit. And we never quit with any of your other clients. We understand how important certainty is. So we understand in the builder community that when we lock in and we're with one of your clients, we are in it for the long haul. And ultimately, if we say we're good to go, we just wrote a check. And by the way, we do. So a builder has to have certainty, okay? Most of those builders, just so you're clear, have lived through 2006, 7, and 8, and they probably almost lost it, okay? And so what they do not want to do is go get wrapped up with a lender that exists out there that just does pre-approval letters. In fact, they hate it. They want to control their business. That is what builders really want, because they want certainty. They want to understand that that pipeline, as it's moving, will actually close. They don't want to get there, and then all of a sudden they have, because usually what a builder does is they've got pre-builds that are going in this line right here, which is when somebody comes in and somebody is basically going to get approved, and then they're building that house for them, and then there's an end result. And then they have a spec line over here. But one thing they do not want to do is end up with spec homes, and all of a sudden these come online, and now these are spec homes too. That's not good, okay? They need these to go and these to be specs. But on the spec inventory, what I really like about that is that it was one of the questions that I always want you to ask when you're talking to a builder is how many specs do you build? And like right now, how many are for sale? You know why? Because they won't sell it. So if we had a strategy around that to help them sell it, would that in fact help them? Yes, it could. So again, those questions are good questions because you're I'll build it into my, when I'm talking, I'm building it into where I'm going. Okay? Oh, you've got 11 spec homes you need to sell? Okay. I'm going to make note of that. I'm going to keep going. Okay? All right. But the benchmark never quits. Then the last thing before you really get in the meat of this is that, look, what I'm about to share with you, our company does today. We do it now. And we are good at it. And so this is not something that I'm here to go waste your time with. This is something that if you will do what I'm suggesting, and if you do, you partner with me, we can move the needle at this organization, okay? So, bottom line is, I'm about to share something with you that will sell more homes. Next slide. So the first thing we want to start with is low-hanging fruit. So today, you told me that you had 46 sales off team. You told me you had, these different subdivisions. I'm assuming you have model home there. Yes, we do. Okay. So do you track who comes in there? Oh yeah, we know how many people come in there. Okay, good. How many veterans come in? I don't know. Okay, so you don't track them. How many first responders come in? I don't know if we know that.
All right, something to that, because every builder we've talked to has had that same face, that same answer.
Yeah, I'm being the builder while I'm doing this. I'm doing both people.
They literally don't know.
So I'm like, okay, well, that's interesting. Then I say this. Hey, if you did know, and you knew how to talk to them better, do you think you might be able to convert more of those into home sales? Yes. It's just sales 101, man. So if you know who's walking in the door and I can connect better, do I stand a better chance of closing the deal? Yes or no? Okay. So it's not about the product yet as much as it's about the person. And we understand sales in here, yes? So the very first thing with low-hanging fruit is that let me help you with your sales team. Chances are a veteran is walking into your world. I'm just going to tell you, chances are they are. By the way, 1 in 7 people are. Right? And they can buy. Like big time. And chances are first responders are walking in your door. Okay? Hey, how about this? How about we stay in the room? Hey, Jim. You okay? Okay. That's like it just I get so focused and I get off. I apologize because I'm not good at this. I can't roll with it and I get lost. All right. So on the low-hanging fruit, the whole concept there, y'all, is to help the builder identify that they have opportunity that exists right this second that for sure they are not able to execute on. And that if in fact we were able to identify, and if in fact we were able to help the sales team become more equipped around those two subjects, they probably can. That's pretty basic. Don't y'all agree? Okay. The branding opportunities. Hey, if a veteran walked in or if a first responder walked in, do they feel like your company is patriotic? They always look at us and go, what does that mean? I go, well, let me give you an example. If you come into our world, boom, American flag, boom, we champion. I mean, in other words, we message it. And by the way, that lapel pin that you were talking about right there, I mean, we have things that basically say, without saying, that we love our country and that we're patriotic. Do you have those in your facility? I don't think so. Okay. Would it make a veteran more comfortable if they came in and they saw that? Yes. Would it make a first responder more comfortable if they walked in and saw it? Please shut that door. Yes. Okay, good. So one of the things that we want to help you with is we want to help identify your space, and we want to help identify some things that just are low-hanging fruit again, that if we just kind of did a facelift, just a few things we feel like it would probably make and set the stage to help people get more comfortable, okay? What am I doing right now? I'm basically pointing out to them that there's this massive opportunity, and by partnering with me, we can do a little retooling. And by the retooling, I'm just telling you, get ready, we're about to get after it together. That's what I'm doing, okay? All right, education. All right, you told me that 80% of your deals come from realtors, right? Right. All right, let me ask you a question. Do realtors think builders like veterans? Chances are is that they think they don't, okay? You just need to believe me. So if we could take you out of this little whole box that you're in, which you're in this whole builder box, and we could remove you and we could cut you from the herd, and we could put you over here where you love veterans, and you're communicating your love for veterans, and you're a veteran advocate. Oh, we haven't asked them to spend any money yet, ever. It's just messaging. And the people that sell 80% of your homes, right now, you're having to go spend more money to go give them right now to go bring you those people. Do you think they ever run into a person that might be a veteran and they don't necessarily know where to go take them, or they have a little anxiety about where they're going to go take that person today? And the answer was, yeah, I bet they do. What if you were the place where they felt so good about where they brought that person? They're like, dang, man, that's good. So how do we do that? Well, we need to get in front of your agents. You said you tracked that, right? Right. Well, what if we just message into them when we get them a little bit educated, right? We do a realtor event specifically with them, but specifically about you as the builder. So in other words, we're taking more of a generic concept. We're going to go bring it into, let me make sure you understand who our builder is. So the message has got to change, right? Because we're going to focus 100% on the builder, what their initiative is, and more importantly is that when you get this person, you bring them to us, okay? So then I think this is probably one of those parts where I was like, okay, so could you imagine, for example, that all of a sudden the room looked good, the sales team knew what you were doing, a veteran walks in and they know how to talk to them, and so they basically, I said, because if they came in with their military, you would realize that they were. But most of those people that are coming in, they're already in the marketplace. In other words, let's just say they work at Lockheed Martin. You probably would not know unless you asked that question. But yet they could probably buy anything that you have, okay? And so what if it was more of like, okay, hey Wendell, hey, thanks for coming over to Pay Center Homes today. Hey, before we get rocking and rolling, I'd love to get to kind of know who my clients are. Have you ever served our country? Yes. Oh, awesome. What branch did you serve in? Army. Okay. And I start getting a dialogue going, start getting a conversation going. By the way, I will tell you, I believe most sales consultants are probably scared to death of that because they are not armed and they wouldn't even know where to go on the first question, right? But if we help train them and help inspire them, then all of a sudden they have this connection, because eventually where I want to quickly get is that, Wendell, you're in the right place. I'm going to tell you right now, you're with a builder that absolutely positively loves veterans, and we care about veterans. In fact, we feel like we're a veteran advocate builder. And so you know what? We don't take advantage of veterans. And because you've served our country, we want to say thank you. So right now, I just want you to understand, you don't have to negotiate this. This is the package we give for you. And that's how you start before you go into a deal. I said, do you think your sales team would be excited about the veteran coming in now? They were like, yes. And I was like, and if your realtor knew that, do you think they'd be excited about dropping that person off over in your neighborhood? And they were like, yes. I was like, do you see how powerful this is right now? Do you think you could, and I start asking, do you think you can start selling more houses with this? Yes. Okay, let's keep going. So, you know, the ID to convert more VA clients, we just did that, keep going. The power of the VA, we go through this kind of just, hey, you know, there's a lot of misconception about VA. I just want you to understand a couple of things, and this is why you want to be in this market. Keep going. The VA buyer of 2018, we want to educate them on who this person really is and why and how they exist and how they're already in your marketplace, and this is out there. So, by the way, we've probably already had them at yes before we started doing this, but now what are we doing? We're laying facts on them now to build our case that ultimately they cannot say no to. Because we kind of had them already at just if the person walked in, but now we start showing them what their market looks like. And I'm just telling you that they just start getting closer and closer and closer to you. All right. And then when we were doing it in Austin, we went, we said, hey, look, we pulled some numbers, and we know it's, by the way, you can get all these, we don't need to go deep into this, but all this stuff exists. And then, you know, 7% of your adult populations walking around right now actually is a veteran. Holy crap. Okay. It'd probably be good if you were patriotic. Greater Austin counties, we go through that, keep going. How? Asking the right question, romancing, connecting with the veteran, closing the veteran, plug into yes. So this is our favorite part right here. It's that, you know, really, what we're really talking about, Paysetter homes or on-lake homes, is that, you know what, the reason why we're different than all your other lenders that you work with today is because we care, we have an attitude of saying yes. And so even though that these guidelines exist and all that, because I've told you that we've retooled our operation, and because I've told you that, you know what, we're sold out and we're serious about this, bottom line is we say yes. So we're going to make this like a big easy button. I love what Chad even says with that. And so when those people come in, it's game on, okay? So in other words, how fun would it be to start making this easier for your clients? And they want to plug into that, okay? Keep going. Branding opportunities. So, hey, we can raise your customer experience here. No question, no doubt. We believe, you know what, it'll make your environment more fun, it'll make it more friendly for veterans, and more importantly, they will want to close deals with you. Success stories, praise reports. Hey, we want to start looking for these. I bet you've already closed some veterans. I'd love to go back and take inventory of that and let's go back. But going forward, let's start thinking through exactly what we already do with real estate agents, right? We want to start looking for these opportunities. How are we going to find these opportunities? I need to start working with your sales team. We got to start being able to ID them. Once we do it, I'll become your kind of marketing strategy on all this. Then how do we start getting it out? We're already doing that now. We want to help build more of a social media presence. Let's talk about videos. Do you do videos today? Usually the answer is no. Okay, well, how great would it be if we could go and take one of our veterans and we could go and go walk through the house or take any client and talk about really what's in this house and why this house is different than other houses and whatever. But video works. Y'all all know that. But what we're doing is we're introducing that. By the way, I'd like to do that with each one of your sales consultants so that they start to have something that starts to be more personalized. So, for example, in that 46, what we're really talking about is I'm going to have to go give it 46 people. I'm going to have to start spending some time with them. And ultimately, but I have a strategy with each one of them that, and I'll never forget when we told them this, that like whenever we asked them about their social media strategy, they're like, yeah, we don't really have one. I go, we have 46 sales consultants. I said, do they have Facebook? They were like, well, probably. And I was like, okay, well, then you really have 46 social media strategies. And they're like, yeah, I guess we do. I was like, don't you think they friend their clients, whatever they bought? Yeah, maybe so. And I'm like, well, I mean, we can get that message out now with 46 people if we do this right. And they were like, Roger that, you know, like but see, watch this. They're not empowering them with any message right now, so therefore it's 46 independent accounts that are away from their company. They're not leveraging it. They don't know how. They haven't tied it together. But I said, look, one of the things that we could do is when we're sitting there and we're educating and training your sales team, let us roll these strategies in, and that way you don't have to communicate them. It just becomes part of the plan that ultimately helps them sell more homes. Keep going. So then we show examples. Look, you know, this, and you can attack, and you know, so we'll start creating things like this, like if your community starts seeing things like this, and your real estate agents that are selling homes start seeing things like this, do you think it would start to that they would start to understand we're for real, we're serious. Then we show a video of Adam here, which, by the way, we want more of those. And let me just say something on this, is that even on your real estate agent PowerPoint, one of the things that we're going to do, that Garrett and Jay are going to do, is they're going to literally dismantle the one that we have right now and re-put it back together where it is way more focused around benchmark. It has way more videos and stuff like that, or people that are in our company, and make it more interactive. Like, for example, when you get to underwriting, wouldn't you love to have, for example, Pullen and David talking about what our attitude is in underwriting versus you say. See where I'm going? So we want to start weaving some of that stuff in. But in this education of the realtors, is that then we start talking about what that class is that we do there, okay? And by the way, that would be that other PowerPoint that we have. And really, it ultimately comes there to do. And why you are the best builder. We unpack this and we strategize and we do this together. And then one of the things we do is we say, and we have this deal, this is our VA promise, okay? And we read it to them. No more will the veteran be taken advantage of. We have changed the way VA lending is done. We will always do right by the veteran and provide first-class service that ensures our veterans receive the American dream of home ownership that they deserve. What we'd like to do with you is we'd like to craft one of those with you together. We want you to have a VA promise that you believe in, that your company can go rally around. And we want to introduce that at the sales rally that we do with your sales team when we go and introduce that you're going to be this VA builder. They're like, okay. And then we go and hit this. And we say, but hey, but probably the white elephant in the room might be the appraisal issue. Have you ever had appraisal issues? And we get right to it. And then they were like, yes, they have. Okay, well, what were they? Well, our values have gotten cut. Okay, how much? The ones that I remember were about $10,000. I said, okay, now what's your sales price again? $220. So you got cut 10 grand, so you're at $210. Yeah. So, and that's just deals that walked in with you, right? Yeah. I said, okay, well, and then think about what you have in your back pocket right now. Well, here's how we approach appraisals. And yes, sometimes, it may just be, because I understand you as a builder, you're going like this, right? You're starting a new development here, you're trying to go get buy-in, and then you're trying to get to a price point that's here, and sometimes that gap can be the thing that kind of bites us. So we need to be really specific about when we're going there. Again, if I'm part of what you're doing, and there's a strategy behind it, we can kind of see it coming and we can maybe head it off. One of our thoughts is that what we like to do is we like to host an appraisal forum out here at your development. And we'd like to invite those VA appraisers because, more importantly, there's just a few of them that are here. We want to get them to come. We want them to know you. We want to know your VA promise. We want them to know who we are. We want them to see the product. And we want to try to work a better working relationship with them versus just sending this request out and hoping everything for the best. But, in fact, if they do something that we don't agree with, it's okay because we can remedy it. And chances are, and we can show examples right here, and this is where y'all weave back in again. We just did this for a building. We were able to move it $13,000. And and ultimately, the way that I would view that is that look at this lift that we're all of a sudden going to get of all these new clients. And you were already telling me you spend all this money with these real estate agents and stuff like that. And what I'm simply talking about is that you will have a message that's out in the community where people will want to come to your community that maybe are not with those real estate agents. And if you invested a little bit, if we got short, maybe, just maybe, would you have paid $20,000, for example, to sell 40 more homes? And the answer is always going to be, yes, I would have spent that. Okay, well, that's what I'm talking about right now. I'm not talking about the deals you're already doing. I'm talking about the deals you're not doing. I'm talking about business you don't have. So it costs money to go get business, yes or no? Yes. Okay, well, let's pay it in the appraisal if we have to. But chances are, this is minuscule. This is meaningless. And I'll give you a commitment right now that if it was more than that, I'll partner with you and split it with you anyway. In other words, you would do that because you're going to end up, you would pay for title. And think about what you would do to go lock a builder up. Yes, you'll do that. And have the courage to just look them right in the eye right then and go, I'll split it with you. It doesn't matter to me. Because I'm telling you, we will do way more of the other good, and we will make way more on what we are doing, that this is just a rounding error. But you've got to get yourself out of this box that all the builders are in of this is a negative product and put yourself over here, and we'll get all the business. Next one. Okay, VA myth busting. That it's not a weaker buyer. And then, in fact, it's not hard to get through underwriting. In fact, we close these so fast. And the fact is that, You don't have to go, we can create a package that overcomes this. You're already going to spend money anyway. You already told me that. Let's just craft a package that's correct, that you know what, it's not in addition to. All right, you can only have one VA loan. Everybody knows the answer is that's not true. And then the appraisals are tougher. I'm telling you, we can create a strategy around that, and we can overcome that, and you can be very victorious in this next one. Next one. Holds a prayer. Next one. Next one. Next one. This was kind of one of those cool things, is that, look, as this matures, you know, really what we want to do is that how cool would it be to potentially, like, maybe even host veteran events. You're very involved in that already. Maybe that's one of the things that you could do with them as a builder, is that you can host these young veteran events where it's a social, and we can kind of co-do some stuff. I have 1,000 ideas on that, or I have 1,000 strategies. But, you know, once if in fact we're talking about next steps, we'll unpack that then. And bottom line is that what I'm really talking about is a drum beat. I'm talking about a drum beat that keeps this thing going, and you're looking at your engine right here. I'm your dude, okay? Keep rolling. Okay. Hey, there's a bunch of other cool things that we can get into. For example, in the state of Texas, there is like some endowments and things like that. We want to become smarter on those things where we can, in fact, help a veteran with retrofitting houses and things like that. I think this is where you would get yourself spun up about the state that you're in, and just know a few extra items that I guarantee you nobody's talking about. Keep going. Corporate relationships, keep going. Next steps, okay? So everything that we keep doing has an after-action strategy, right? So our next steps are, very first thing I'm going to do right here is I'm going to say, okay, any questions while I'm sitting in front of you right now? What about this? What about that? Answer all that. Okay, so listen. Here's where we are with this. We are going to do this with builders in our community. We are absolutely going to do this. I'll let them know right now. I think that you would be a good partner for this. What do you think? Yes. No. It's not in our wheelhouse. Whatever. Probably chances are more of a line of yes. Okay? All right. If it's yes, what I want to do is I want to have, I want to talk, are you committed for us to help train your sales rep? Yes, we are. Are you committed to helping us get the realtors together so we can communicate that? Okay. And then I want to start getting a media strategy together. So really what our next steps are is that I want a commitment from you that we are in fact doing this. And you understand that, you know what, it has to be an exclusive on the VA and first responders. Now, if I'm you and they don't have another mortgage, it's got to be an exclusive. I just go for it, okay? In our example, there were 4 other lenders that were in there already. They already had a little bit of heartburn about just blowing everybody out. That's fine. We have got to have an exclusive on this. Because if we don't have an exclusive on this, and a first responder or a veteran shows up and goes through all this, and in fact somebody messes that deal up, then we've done this for nothing. And that cannot happen. Do you agree? Yes, we agree. Then we have got to be it. And it's got to be communicated that if we're going to go roll this heavy red carpet out, and we're going to go retool everything and go make you what we're saying, then you got to have a commitment back to us and say, we're your huckleberry on this. Deal. See ya. Go eat lunch. You got anything else after this?
All right. Just because the long lake meeting, we said it, you know how powerful it was when we put that whole package together, and then you turn around and add in that realtor group that you eventually came up with a package worth $17,000 for veterans when they got their home. You want to talk about that at all?
I mean, you know, the one thing I would talk about on that, Garrett, is this, is that, look, I'm asking y'all, if you want to go get in this builder stuff, and it sounds like y'all do, I want you to go and go identify. I want you to kind of start getting this primed up. I want you to ask some questions. And if you feel like it's something that you need us on, then I want you to call. And I want you to get me involved, and then I want to get over there, and then I'll come, and I'll be your person in there. And then maybe those events come up, but I mean, you know, that was just off the cuff for me. I don't know. I mean, I was in it, I saw it, and we jumped on it. I don't know that you can talk about it in here, because I think anytime you're doing one of those meetings, something good's going to come out, and I think you just got to know what it looks like, and you got to jump all over when it happens.
I think for some of us, it's hard for us to visualize what can we do exactly. Like, you've got the first strings, you kind of get it, you understand. For some of us in smaller branches and stuff, I think we need the concept of what can we do?
What do you mean, what can you do?
Well, you know, like,
mentioned something like pay for Tyler. You know, a lot of
Okay.
builders are saying, go with my lender and we'll pay for Tyler, and this, that kind of thing. What kind of packages, how much can we give?
Okay, good question. Okay, I like that question.
Because I
So,
think that's what freezes some of us is, yeah, we want to make an offer, but what can the offer be?
so I think you gotta look at it with a different set of lens. You're not looking at this as a one-off loan. You're looking at this as a partnership that basically has a lot of production for you. And so in that, it basically means like, okay, if you were gonna partner with him, what are the things that you would do that would basically create a reason why that buyer would wanna come to us anyway? And so usually that's done through incentive packages. So I think you gotta, number one, you gotta look at how you're priced. Number two, I think you gotta figure out how, what your price, what are you willing to give up? Most people that are in this space are paying for title and maybe a little bit more. So they're already at 1%, okay? But I'll tell you, they're getting 1,000 loans. So would you pay 1% to get 1,000? The answer is yes.
Can I add something to that I think is important for me kind of to talk time? Because I want to just say something about Stewart on this whole deal. Is that all right? I mean, it's just an observation. I was with Mike Watson yesterday in South Carolina. And this is really important in credit to my buddy here, my partner, and to our company and to you all. Let me just phrase this for 60 to 120 seconds, why you're here, okay? And how he thinks and how we tend to roll. Who in this market, or who in this room and in your branches has had issues with you being the higher price in the last 60 days on rate, on loans? Well, guess what? So there's a lot of people, right? Who in this room has heard about people getting laid off in our industry and being challenged in the past 60 to 90 days? It's everything. We're one of the few that have laid people off. So the reality of where the marketplace is and what his whole brainstorm of really taking this past just a couple builder deals that were happening in Houston is brilliant right now. Because here's what's going on, okay? Reality is, y'all may not know this, but listen, be careful. Through August 31st, our industry, our $1.8 trillion industry, is off 12.5% from last year. You do the math on it, $200 million. Okay, so from 2012 to 2017, every week somebody else got in the mortgage business. One more mediocre person got in. And then through last year, all of a sudden, you hit this flat line like we do in markets that shift and roll and keep going and turning over. And now, weekly, people are getting out. And the people that are left are trying to go after a business where, even though it is an amazing economy, we're in a 4.2% growth economy right now. Trump tax plan works. All these things are good. There are too many of us, and the housing market is normalizing in an amazing marketplace right now. But in an amazing marketplace where thousands of transactions are going down, there are several thousand people wanting to do the loan. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, what are most people doing? Sitting still, worrying about it, laying 3 people off, laying 138 people off like Movement just did, fairway restructuring, guaranteed rate just canceled, all second and third quarter bonuses for all area and regional managers, negative, 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 negative. And look what we're doing. Look what he's doing. Look what we're thinking. The message here, I jumped up there, Tess, when you just kind of asked that, because I want to help you with the bigger picture. You said purse string. You said, Stewart just said it like 3 times from the time I walked in late for breakfast. He said the word message. But no, I'm not. I'm using you right now as a leverage. It's a huge point right now of what you can go do and what he did. And again, this is what, as a team, we're all so strong together. He went down and saw Craig Jones. I've known this guy socially for years. I've known Mark Katie for 28 years. This guy's an Aggie, same age as me. Kind of known each other. I've been in his office for months. I didn't think of this idea. Craig's a really strong-willed guy. Really a cool guy. His main guy's been in our ranch too. Walks in his office a few weeks ago, brings this pitch. And this guy's like, I need to sell more houses. Yeah, I know Mark Laird, who's the owner of Cornerstone, probably better than I know you, Stewart. I know how Craig thinks. But Mark had brought me this idea. Holy crap. Yeah, I'm in 100%. And of course, Stu's the closer. But we want all your VA loans, and we just want the choice to get them. You see the point of what this is? I mean, the VA message is brilliant. But the bigger message, I want to make sure you're seeing and hearing, you take back to your branch, take back to your teams, is you have an offensive attack right now in a marketplace that happens every 5 to 7 years where things are kind of waning and there's competition and people are worried and it's the lower rate and, oh God, I lost another one to the credit union because they're a quarter lower. Screw that. You can go take a message like this of here's how we sell more, here's how we pull more into our pony stall. That's so freaking huge. I'm stating the obvious. I'm pretty good at that. I'm a BFO guy, plenty of flash of the obvious. But bottom line is, you need to think those thoughts and understand this bigger message with this freaking baseball bat that this really is.
Trojan horse.
It's huge because then people are just like, and so, I mean, he may have said this in the last couple of days, or Jay has before I've heard him, but Builder's brilliant. Like with Watson yesterday, we were number two guys all along. He's like, God dang, that is so smart. We were looking at one of the videos, and he's like, I just signed up that blah 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 homes, and I'm like, don't not hesitate. Still get Stu out here. Let's still go do the presentation for a 125 unit home builder this year that's giving you the number one spot, because now you just cement the guy who really still likes the guy at movement, or the guy. That's what Stu's giving you. That's what the team's giving you, is this way to overcome. And again, using that Craig Jones illustration, I didn't tell him this, but I really do know that guy socially for a long time through Mark. And I thought about this when I'm listening to Stu right now, is because he just went to this guy's office, is I know Craig. You know Mark Laird, is many times. Mark Laird's a little bit older than me. He's the owner of Cornerstone Mortgage out of Houston.
We're going to run out of time.
But they do a third of their business. Stu just trumped Mark Laird.
Okay.
It's huge. So good job.
Somebody,
Big Stewart answer.
Check out at 11 o'clock.
Okay. So what time is it right now?
10:30.
Okay. So I'm gonna try to put the hammer to the metal. I'm gonna try to hit it faster right now. So I want to hit the first responder as kind of that last thing for you, so you kind of can hear that. So again, when we're saying this message, we're not just saying veteran, we're saying first responder. I think there is a huge first responder hill. A huge first responder hill. Right now, I have confirmed 100% that first responders would be very attracted to this message, because I've asked them, okay? So I've already filtered this. And number two is that I've literally been told that first responders right now want a positive message. They want a positive message, because what is going on right now for first responders? And I want you to think about police right now. What's happening for police? Trash.
Yeah.
I mean, just let me ask you a better question. Is anything positive that you're hearing about first responders? Okay, do you think they feel thank you? Okay, so I want you to stay on that side of the scale with me for a second. So first off, you may be thinking, wow, does Benchmark have a first responders product? Yes, we do. You know what it is? An attitude. We have an attitude saying yes to people that serve us. So one of the things that I want you to understand is that, okay, most of your first responders probably are somehow, I mean, most of them are veterans. I mean, when you go look under the hood, a lot of them have a veteran background. So your product would be VA there. But like, let's say it's not. Then I would think FHA. And so we can right now, and I wish Pullman would have walked out. David, where's David? They're going to go from the video. We can right now do a lower FICO credit score, okay? Many of you do not know that, but we can. Do me a favor, are they about to go shoot that video? Or
Yes, that's good.
okay. So in that, what I'm saying is I would rather reserve our lower FICO score deals in the FHA world for our first responders than for the general world, okay? So what I'm saying is that I want you to feel empowered right here on this message, is that we do have a product. So let me make sure you hear me say that. We do have a first responders product. It's an attitude of saying yes and we figure it out. Any of those other products, don't get bamboozled. Well, they do this and they do, yeah, we do all that too. But I mean, the more powerful thing is that, but we say yes. And we care. So when you get into that, don't get in that trap. Stay on the side of the attitude, we say yes, and we care. Now, if I were you, I would probably create a benefits kind of strategy where I would cut some of my price, okay? Where, hey, maybe it's a no-fee deal. So here's what I want you to think through. If you could right now go get in with the Dallas Police Department, the Plano Police Department, the Waco Police Department, would you, if you could get a line into them, they would be aligned back to you, would you do that at a no-fee deal? Yes, you would. Why?
It's going to be a lot of it. I mean, one guy will talk to the
There we go, right? Yeah, it's worth it. You would spend that in some other form or fashion just trying to get there. So here's where I want you to focus on the first responder deal. Number one is I want you to think through your pipeline, and I want you to think if you ever close a deal in the last probably 3 years for a first responder. So we're sitting there talking. You got one just closed, and you got one that you're about to, right? Where?
Plano. Just go to Plano Police Department and close it out and detective it out, and then Frisco County.
Yeah. Okay. 3. You get 3. 3 different municipalities that have 3 different police departments, okay? First thing I would do is I'd go online and I'd go find out how many people are part of that department. It may freak you out. You'll find out. By the way, the #1 employment for a state is public works. And by the way, whenever you start really go start thinking, start thinking Homeland Security, start thinking about police department, start thinking about fire department, start thinking, it goes forever. But okay, stay isolated on who you've closed and have that and be alert and aware of where they fall into the mixture of could they fall in that first responder sector. Okay, that'd be #1. #2 is that I'd reconnect and recontact them, and I would come back with a message of, hey, you know what, I just really appreciate you. It was such a privilege to be able to close your transaction. We'll see how you're doing. Well, you're doing good. Great. Is there anything that you need from me right now on that? Okay, no, you're good. Okay, great. Hey, we have at our company a heart for first responders. We love them. In fact, we want to do our part. And we feel like first responders are really in this trap right now of just negative, and we don't agree. We do not agree. And we want to do something about it. So my platform is, just like you know, is that we do loans. And what I want to do is I want to create something for you that you would be so super proud about going and taking back into the community that you serve and that you're in. And in other words, I want to bring you a product. And where our heart is right now is we have a heart for saying yes to first responders. And listen to this. And we want to ensure a first-class mortgage experience. I write that part down. We want to ensure a first-class mortgage experience. And so, would you help me get with the person that is in your police department? Or would you just help me communicate this throughout your police department that I want to serve them? Not I want loans. Don't say that. I want to serve them. Okay? All right. And maybe you get an in. Right there, boom, you're already in, okay? If not, I'd be looking for it. I'd be looking for it at every chance I got. I'd be looking for that loan, and I would kill it when they came in. I would crush it. And then the other thing is that maybe I would figure out how to get involved. Let me tell you how we figured out how to get involved by complete and total accident. Is that, 2 boot shoots ago, there were 5 police officers that were literally assassinated, okay? They were literally targeted and killed in Dallas. Does anybody remember that? Okay? And we were like, holy crap, did that just happen? I'll never forget where I was when I heard that. And I was like, that is unbelievable. And yet, there was this outpour of the community and everything that went with it, but we had boot shoot. And so, I never forget, we figured out, okay, and by the way, it took some work, but we finally figured out, you know what, there was a Fallen Officers Foundation, okay? And so, we reached out to them. We said, hey, here's who we are. We're boot shoot, and look, man, we're in Dallas, and we don't know what to do, but we just want to know we're here, and we will do whatever we can for whoever we can. Do you need any help? So the one thing I want you to kind of identify right there is that chances are there's a Fallen Officers Foundation that exists in your community. And the very first thing I would do is I would figure out, is there one and who runs that, okay? #2 is that I would basically just say, hey, tell me, because this is disgusting, but there's a lot of these guys that get killed right now. It's crazy how, if you watch the frequency of this, it is absolutely unbelievable. And so, they've got these families and everybody that's still left. I'm just telling you, they are not ready for this. And by the way, these entities that exist, they're trying to figure out how to shore a family up. So one of the things you could do if you don't have that is that you can kind of make yourself real relevant by understanding who it is and seeing what they're focused on right now and can you help, okay? So usually they have fundraisers going on. Most of the time what I've seen is that they do not know what they're doing and they need the most help humanly possible. And if you were an outside community citizen and you're trying to just help, they might welcome you. They really might, okay? So let me fast forward this. So we ended up meeting this guy. They ended up, and here's what they did. They go, yeah, man, we have all this stuff people made, and we need to monetize it. We got to turn it into money, and we don't know how to do it. And I was like, well, we do. We got this event. And so what I'm saying is maybe right there, you do have an event. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not my event. It's your event. You have boot shoot. So maybe you don't commit. Just be thinking. Okay, so if they have something like that, maybe you go, okay, well, I might be able to help you with that. Like, give you a big audience where, like, something like that could bring some big dollars, okay? And that's what we ended up doing. When you go look at like how we got into the Fallen Officers Foundation, is they in fact had this gun that was made, okay? And it was for the 5. And they didn't have a venue. So we took the gun and put it in boot chute and went auctioned off for a fortune and turned around and gave it to them plus some money, okay? And that right there, you talk about get a relationship online, oh, what? I mean, and so now,
Then we did it the next year.
yeah, we hadn't stopped. We kept doing it. So right now, here's what I want you to know. You right now, 2 years in a row, we have given to the not the Dallas Fallen Officers. The last one was Loving. We have given to the Fallen Officers Foundation. We've got pictures of it. We've got all of that. You need to go put that on Benchmark Mastermind, okay? And so you could use that right now as credibility, because it is. It's real. I promise you. And then, in fact, we do care for first responders. In fact, we do for sure want to help in this tragic thing. And yet, I think it'll help you get your message in. So that's my big thing on the first responders. We don't need to go further than that. You've got to find your way in. You do have a product. I would hit the freaking gas pedal on this. I think it is a bad to the bone strategy, and I don't think anybody could do it at the level that we could do it at. Okay? Don't forget state troopers.
Also, it's a good way to get on with the builder too, because you can refer them if they do.
Thank you. So there's just there's a whole world there, man. When you pull that hood up and you look at that engine, there's a whole world. I mean, just the quick thing is that okay, your state troopers, you got Texas Rangers, you got each municipality has their own police force. Then you have fire department. Then you have nurses. Doctors, and I don't know that I would go that far into it. I think I'd stay over here. You have Homeland Security. What else am I missing over there in law enforcement? County Sheriff, EMT, anything. So there's 7. We just rattled off right there. Okay. All right. Those are, so we've done realtor, we've done builder, we've done veteran, and now we first responder, I just kind of made its own hill, but I mean, really, it was probably more in that better type of hill, but whatever. I think I would separate it out. Am I missing anything for you right now? Huh. Okay. Do you have any aha moments as I was going through that? Do you have anything that you just were like, oh my gosh, that this was the most powerful for me? Anybody got a takeaway right now?
You're the aha. I gotta go back and listen
Yeah.
to this.
Yes.
And how that just rolls off your lips is incredible.
Yes.
But I think about it.
But I would buy anything you're selling.
But Sally, you could be me. Y'all could be me in this. I'm telling you. Don't think you could be me in this. I think about it. That's it. The difference is that I think about what I'm talking about. And I think about it because of a heart issue that I want to ensure that we go and use our platform in a way that gives. And I think if you adopt those two things, you can have it roll off your tongue too. Go ahead, Nathan.
I think the biggest thing that I take away is that exclusivity. I've been trying to work that in my business for a couple of years now, and by carving this out, we've been doing similar things already, and I love that we're kind of like in line with going into formation here with guys corporate, with what we've been already building. But that exclusivity, you'll take that exclusivity, whether it be a realtor or a builder,
Yes.
or a foundation, or anything. I think carving this out of the niche allows you, creating that program for them, allows you to.
It's like specialized medicine, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like literally, here we are, this is exclusive. Why not ask for all your other business that you're giving to Joe Schmo, who you're really not going to like after you work with me anyway?
Yes.
But let's just be exclusive here.
Yes.
It gives us that.
And I love that you got that, because, I mean, here's the thing is that the exclusivity that they get, whether they realize it or not, they just went exclusive with you, okay? And whether they realize it or not, you just Trojan horse them, okay? You literally, the gate was like this, you literally, boom, you got through, and now you're like, okay, now look, if we're going to work this strategy and I'm going to get you there, I'm going to kind of know what all you're doing now, But I didn't have to say that, but I'm in. And why wouldn't I take care of that other stuff? That's it. That's the essence of everything that we're talking about. Okay? All right, any other aha takeaway moments on what we're doing right now? Yeah, hey, Jason.
One thing you were talking about agents or trying to find first responders or veterans or safety agents. One thing to focus on as well with that in that same category is agents who are married to first responders. I have several now who are married to Dallas firefighters. And we take food to local fire stations. They love food.
That's huge.
Feed them.
Yeah.
They love food.
How about Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings, you show up with McDonald's and burritos and
You
sausage
go
and
and
coffee
find
with
breakfast
those dudes?
tacos and take breakfast tacos on Sunday morning.
just work on
my
that.
So we did Philly luncheon.
Think outside the box with that.
Fire departments. and they
I
brought
love
the
that.
department.
Yeah. But hey, don't forget to monetize yourself. Okay? Don't forget that. I think that's the biggest aha that I can create back for you of watching people start going down this is they somewhere somehow either they feel like they can't ask or they forget to ask. And I'm saying if you're crafted with the right message, I feel like you can absolutely 1,000,000,000% ask. And I think if you realize it is your duty to ask because in fact they're going to go someplace else and it's going to be a car accident, why would we not prevent that? That's where my mind is now. If you want to know how I flipped it from the boot shoot message and what we were doing over there to be over here, it's because I saw the car accidents. I was tired of seeing people spread out all over the road. And I was like, okay, we can do something about this. That's where you got to get convicted on this. You just got to believe you are better than them, and I believe we are. All right, any last, just anything. Anybody want to say anything before we hit it? The brakes. Yeah.
Just like the last thing I wrote down is that we want to use our platform. Like this is who we are. This is what we do. We want to use our platform to make a difference.
Yes.
So that was a big takeaway.
Yeah.
Because we do show how much we care, right? We want people to know that we want to make a difference. This is how we make a difference.
John Maxwell has the most famous quote, love this quote. It's like the best universal quote of all times. Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. I mean, I think that's my end for you, is show how much you care, jump on one of these hills, get after it, go take it, and keep it. Please don't feel overwhelmed, and please don't try to go jump off every one of these hills at one time. You're probably not going to accomplish anything. Figure out which one you want to go run at, and go and laser beam it, and stay put, and then let the next one, work into it. Be alert, be aware. It will happen. You'll know what to do when it shows up, and then maybe you can run up it better. But I would not be on like a full frontal attack trying to go take 3 or 4 hills right now. I would isolate it and go to one, and I would just become a freaking dang pro at it. You will move the needle in your business so much on one of those hills, you don't need the rest of them.